Manish Tangi, good afternoon. Can I go to Manish Tangi? Is he ready? Manish Tangi, you've been arguing, you've been advocating, you've been discussing, you've been debating, you've been expressing your thoughts on the channel that inflation is coming, inflation has come, and will this budget only stroke inflation higher?
Yes, Nikunj. And, last night also we were discussing the same that in India sort of sits in a setup which has two major risks flashing at it. One is with respect to tightening financial conditions across the world. And second is a risk of oil not just sustaining at such elevated level, but also moving up higher and higher. Now, I've been highlighting both of them for the last 5 months. The thing is that it's only gotten worse. Now, the budget is a delicate act. One is, of course, the local audience, spend more money, get capacity utilization improve, treat the K-shaped recovery, and, provide for more sort of expenses. But then it also has to sort of take into account the global setup. Now, my fear is that in this delicate act, it's near impossible to get the right balance right almost always. Now, my fear is that right now it's likely that the the expenditure plot that we have from the government seems to be pretty attractive one. The slew of announcements with respect to expenditure, especially the capex one, is very very good. But then again, as I've been arguing with you, Nikunj, that we have two major problems. One, that now India borrowing, which is likely to be about 15 lakh crore gross, in a setup when dollar and US treasuries are going up, RBI most likely is going to tighten the noose. How on earth you going to borrow so much money? The total fiscal deficit between state as well as center is near 10.5% now. Okay. Now, in a condition when rates are low, it's fine. When because RBI can supply a lot of
Manish
liquidity.
Dangi and Bala, who's on a screen, they go a long time back, and every time Manish is on the screen, Bala was nodding when he was speaking his views out. Bala, the question is not coming your way. This time I'm going to Nilesh and I'm coming right back to you. Dr. Raghuvanshi is also there. So I'm going to say good afternoon to him also, and I'm coming right to Dr. Raghuvanshi after a question to Nilesh. But that was Bala and Manish. They both were in agreement with each other. Of course, they were in Birla together, weren't they? We all know that. Nilesh Shah, what is the risk to this wonderful budget, which is growth oriented? It has flavor of risk. It is encouraging everybody to take risk at India Inc. And it is doing all the right things in terms of prioritizing government's goal of getting growth back or accelerating growth. What is the risk, Nilesh, to this budget?
Honestly, there isn't any kind of a risk to this budget per se. I mean, this budget in a way acknowledges the current external environment, and it also in a way tries to basically capitalize on the growth opportunities that are there ahead. So I think on the whole, this budget attempts to kind of do that balancing act between the growth imperative and fiscal prudence in a way. So I honestly don't think there's any material risk to this kind of a budget. Only and I clearly think that the overall contours of this budget will get vindicated if growth sustains. Our biggest challenge and biggest risk is that if growth falls short of expectations, and then of course you have basically the entire fiscal deficit to kind of, which has to be kind of in a way addressed. And in the rising interest rate environment, how do you do that? So if I were to say that honestly, this is a great budget. There is no risk to this budget. The risk is basically post the budget is that if the relatively higher growth rate does not materialize, then that creates basically a fresh set of challenges at the very short term.
Nilesh, I know you have to get on a call after this. Have you made up your mind to add something in your portfolio post on the budget? 30 seconds, and I'll let you go. If you don't tell me the name, I will not let you go.
No, nothing specifically which you would want to add because of the budget.
Okay. You've been honest. So appreciate your time. You've been very kind with your time. You joined us. You've been with us throughout the budget coverage for many years. And, Nilesh and me have been covering these budgets for 20 years now. Makes me sound very old, but that's the way it is. Dr. Raghuvanshi joins us now. It's always a pleasure to connect with him. Dr. Raghuvanshi, well, last time there was a clear, money which in a sense was earmarked to the healthcare sector, the vaccine availability, quota for vaccine. This time there is trickle of what needs to be done for healthcare system, but nothing which could be called as a big bang healthcare push.
Yes, that is slightly disappointing. However, we are
One who
encouraged
is
that
saying
this.
that there is something disappointing in the budget. I like that, Dr. Raghuvanshi. At least somebody is saying that there is little bit of pinch of disappointment in this budget.
Yes, certainly from health point of view, I think we would have been happier if certain allocations were enhanced, as I had said in the morning as well. But I still take consolation from the fact that the Honorable Minister started her speech with mentioning the importance of healthcare. And there were 3 or 4 specific things which I think are powerful for the health sector. One is the telemental health. I think that, though, is not a big bang thing, as you said, but I think it is very impactful for the society. Just the recognition of mental health as an important element of health is extremely important, and providing those services in a digital manner is even more progressive. So I'm very happy about that and very excited. The second thing which the minister spoke about was the digital health ecosystem. So I think that is another area. We would have liked to see some more allocation, especially to the National Digital Health ID, which but the program has been initiated. This is not a one-year program, so I'm sure that the funds will be available in future. And the third, which is unrelated, which was it is going to have a huge impact on the healthcare ecosystem per se, both from insurance as well as providers and the digital system, is the special status and incentives which are being given to the data centers and the related infrastructure. So I think these are very, very positive things from the health perspective.
Bala, going to come to you, as one of our previous panelists, Shefali, was alluding to, is that there was a lot of emphasis as well on the ease of doing business, which is, lots of plans for Gift City, and that's going to send out a very positive message to the international community. Do you believe that that is going to be quite a game changer as well, and it does send out a very positive signal?
Is that question for me?
That was for A. Bala.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I think the ease of doing business, clearly, I think what Shivali also mentioned about, I think clearly the budget has gone about building. I think digital economy is something a big focus has come. I think going deep dive in terms of making one rural India to adapt to the new change of world, focusing on education. And second is making the digital university, setting up separate university, and then jointly hands with the state government and setting up the digital district. I think all of them are, I think, making the digital economy what government has been pursuing for quite some time, last 6-7 years, and especially the last 3-4 years have gained more momentum, with including the way income tax rules are now being regulated. I think all of them are actually making it much more easier for whether it's the onboarding of companies or any company that has got in a dispute or even closing down the companies. I think a very clear direction that's being given. I think all of them in the right direction in terms of making the business convenience in the country become much more easy. That's, I think it goes well with the what government has been saying. In addition to, I think whatever they have done with respect to the taking the economic next level, way of increasing the capex. I think both of them are going hand in hand. This is something what Shefali mentioned about. I think it's very, very nice. Even the gift city focus that they have brought in terms of allowing certain sectors to be set up and making this financial market education to be more part of the gift city, which again is the most need of the hours, especially the complexity of financial world is rising. I think along the way, learning is also equally important. I think all of them actually are more towards making the business more easier from operating point of view.
Okay, Mr. Bala, I know you have to go, so we're going to thank you for your time and how you were live with us from the budget speech, helping us analyze the big announcements and the impact, of course. Now joining us live is